The coffee shop betrayal. You'll learn how a trusted friend can become your biggest blind spot, and how a former rival can turn into your strongest ally. Told by your storyteller, Alan Hayes. I'm going to tell you what happened to me when I ignored law too, so maybe you won't have to pay the same price. I ran a little coffee shop on the corner of 9th and Main. Nothing fancy, just good beans, a clean floor, and regulars who like to talk. My best friend since high school, Marcus, kept the books. He was quick with numbers and quicker with jokes, so I gave him the keys to everything. We were brothers, I thought. I bought his lunch every day. I let his girlfriend raid the pastry case for free. I even added his name to the business checking account because he kept saying, "I got your back, man." Across the street, Rosa opened a bigger cafe 6 months after mine. She had slick branding, cold lighting, and prices that undercut me by 20 cents a cup. We were polite in public, but the competition was sharp. Every time I looked out my front window, her line was longer than mine. One Tuesday in March, Marcus asked for a week off to visit his mom. Of course, I said yes. I worked doubles, triples, slept on the milk crates in the back. While I was blending beans and wiping tables, I missed the quiet signs. The register came up $30 short on Wednesday. On Thursday, half the gift cards were already redeemed, though I hadn't sold any. By Friday, Rosa's barista greeted me with a smirk I couldn't read. The crash came Sunday at dawn. My supplier's truck rolled up with an invoice I couldn't pay. My account read $9.11. I stared at the screen, sure it was a glitch. Then I saw the transfers large, fast, all authorized by Marcus. He had emptied the account, changed the online passwords, and vanished. I sat on the floor behind the counter, knees to my chest. The room smelled like burnt espresso and panic. Customers poked their heads in, saw I had no change, and walked across to Rosa. By noon, her line curved around the block. By sunset, I closed my doors for what I thought was the last time. I spent the night walking the river path, replaying every laugh Marcus and I had shared. How could I have seen it coming? Simple answer, I never looked. Friends feel safe, so we stop looking. Next morning, exhausted and angry, I banged on Rosa's back door. I expected her to gloat. Instead, she handed me a cup of her darkest roast and said, "You look like you need sugar and a plan." I told her everything, expecting ridicule. She just listened, arms crossed, eyes steady. When I finished, she said, "Your beans taste better than mine, but your system is sloppy. I can teach you tight controls. Help me build a roastery in the back and we'll both win." I flinched, remembering every rivalry we'd had. She smiled, "Enemies watch your moves. Friends stop watching. Let's not be either. Let's be partners who verify." We started small. She showed me how to split financial duties, how to lock inventory, how to run surprise audits. I taught her my honey cinnamon latte recipe that customers craved. Within a month, we converted my empty shop into a roasting hub for both cafes. Within 6 months, we supplied beans to 3 more shops in town. Marcus was eventually caught writing bad checks elsewhere, but by then I no longer needed revenge, I needed receipts, and I had them. One night while packing beans for delivery, Rosa asked why I trusted her after the rivalry. I told her the truth. "You were straight with me when I was down. You had nothing to gain by helping, so your word meant something." Marcus smiled while he took, and I kept calling that friendship. So here's what I carry now. Keep your friends close, but don't hand them the keys just because they smile. Build clear rules, even for people you love. And when an enemy shows competence and honesty, consider the table you can share. Because power isn't about never trusting. It's about trusting with your eyes open and your hand on the ledger. Summary: Blind trust in a friend nearly ended my café, while measured cooperation with a rival rebuilt it. Real protection comes from clear systems, not warm feelings. Let people prove themselves in action, not in history. And remember, the clearest view often comes from someone who once stood against you.